Good morning to you all viewers of the program Press Brief. You are heartily welcome on today's Tuesday's edition of the program this Tuesday morning of the 23rd day of April 2024. On this program we focus on the newspapers as we'll be back to give you what they are saying. Once again, you are heartily welcome back to the program. And if you are joining us, we are on to Press Brief. For presentation, I am attending Larry Kevin Tabot. We start off with the Sun newspaper for this day. The paper of Nobel Waso have as lead story: OC moves the needle in Southwest as SDF gathers team. Get to read more on page 3 on the Sun newspaper for today. Bonida shackles 10 pathways for job creation, fight against unemployment. You can find details on the entrepreneur on that set paper for this day. Reverend Father Desmond Dicom policies for the renovation of the Sase College Chapel, and we take you to Limbe City Mayor Hills MTN Elite One champions Victoria United of or Limpe. Former SDF MP Joa Polinus says elections are irrelevant until Anglophone crisis is solved. Get to read more on that set politician on the page of the Sun newspaper for this morning. From the Sun, we take you to the elite. The elite celebrates Absalom Monono Molua, who the paper titles that as a champion towards living together following the Great Support Development Cultural come together that took place in Great Support Village of Fakol Division of the Southwest region, according to the elite newspaper for today. In that said elite paper, the paper reports on availability of water as reported by the Minister of Water Resources and Energy Gaston Elundu Isumba. Get to read details on page 4 on the elite for this morning. We move over to Le Quotidien. Le Quotidien celebrate the first couple of Cameron, Chantal and Paul Biya, who celebrate their 30th anniversary in holy matrimony. Today, you can find more on the paper of Le Quotidien as it titles that as April 23, 1994 to April 23, 2004. It says 30 years of holy matrimony. Le Messager of late Fusion Jawe for this morning talks of our Pacific Alternative. The paper reports on the toxin of savior of national issues. Get to read more as this exclusive interview accorded to Professor Jean-Calvin Abba Oyono, who would speak exclusively to Le Messager newspaper for today. The head coach of the Indomitable Lions, Mark Breeze, is on a mission of making sure that youthful players are being put into the national team, as he has been moving around Europe and other parts of the globe to scout for more youthful players to play for the Indomitable Lions. Get to read details on page 5. We move over to Horizon. Horizon for this morning report on the town of Garwa. It says CGN and Dr. Bayuru Fatil comes out with the support for active Patriarch Robert Konak against the maneuvers that are being put in the party of the PCRN. We move away from that party Wahala to Cameroon Tribune for this day. Cameroon Tribune celebrates the humanitarian action of the First Lady Chantal Biya, as it titles that passion quite intact. And we take you to Unity Palace, where 2 August guests were receiving audience by President of the Republic Paul Biya yesterday. We move over to 7 million people not registered when it comes to birth certificates. We can find details on the bottom page story of Cameroon Tribune for this morning. And for our show for today talks of the intervention of His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President of Nigeria, for the extradition of Siseko Ayok Tabe and co back to Nigeria, where they were at abducted by Buhari's regime. You can find more on that said paper for today, as the paper captioned that what is opposing the extradition of Sisiku Ayub Tabe and co back to Nigeria. You can find more on that paper of Lefo Show for today. Vincent Sustain Fuda, a socio-political analyst, it says we all need municipal police for their proximity. You can find more on page 10 on that set interview of that publication for today. We move over to municipal updates. Municipal update of Victor Cham for this morning says at launch of Great Support Cultural and Development Association, Pioneer President Absalom Munono rallies peers to champion development peace in the locality of Great Support. Away from that, we take you now to voters registration. Tumfor Barrister Dangota urges clergy to join crusades. Kumbaturi Councillor salutes mayor's developmental strides. And CFA France 30 billion CFA for the construction of Bamenda Deplorable Road. Get to read more on that said paper for this day. We take you to a Code du Parlement for today. Parliamentary action. It talks of RIP Corps and the identification charges of the thematic area when it comes to the diaspora. Get to read more on the Parliamentary Affairs newspaper for today. Code du Parlement, and the paper celebrates Honorable Ngo Isi Roland, who confirms her stride when it comes to lobbying for her constituency. We move on to Leju for today reports on the Chad region. The Lake Chad region, it says humanitarian action without solution. Get to read more on that said paper for today. Football, the paper says playoffs down. The ninth day of games enters today. Get to read more on Luju newspaper for today. And we take you to this cultural festival known as the Nja Medzang Festival. The Balafon of Yaoundé opens today. You can find details on page 3 on that said paper of Loju. From Loju, we take you to Mitation. Mitation reports Yaoundé live without municipal police agents. Get to read details on page 5 following the suspension of the activities of municipal police agents by the senior divisional officer for the Funding Division, Emmanuel Maria Jiteng. Get to read details on that said paper for today. And the Pre-Peace project, the paper talks on the highly awaited meeting in Yaoundé. Info Matin for today reports on potable water, the end of water scarcity in Yaoundé and her environs, according to Info Matin newspaper for today. From Info Matin, we crossed over to Quotidien Eco Santé for today. The hot paper reports on the service delivery of the Cameroonian government when it comes to malnutrition, as the Food and Agriculture Organization with headquarters in Geneva makes her way to Cameroon following the visit of the Director General of the Food and Agriculture Organization to the nation. And we take you to public hospitals. The paper reports on the Association of Women in Global Health, who advocate for this quality service across public hospitals in the country. Les Jeunes Inquiétés for this morning report on the affair of Giffen, as the paper titles that Giffen for Justice. Get to read more on that paper for today. These are some of the Muslims faithful. These are some of the Muslim faithful who will be going to the Holy Land of Mecca, as they say thank you to President Paul Biya for subsidizing their trip to the Holy Land of Mecca in Saudi Arabia. Ete Promi Hebdo reports on Chantal and Paul celebrates their 30th anniversary in holy matrimony, according to Te Promi Hebdo newspaper for today. Catholic Hospital is the editorial of that said paper for today of Te Promi Hebdo. Away from that, we take you now to La Meteo. La Meteo reports on the issues and sanctions surrounding the two leading telecommunication companies in the country, MTN and Orange, as the paper reports on the siphoning of certain funds. You can find more on that on page 3 of that said publication for today. Capital Info for this morning reports on the 10 years of reign of the first class chief of Maka Beme, Joseph who manifests his generosity. The festival photo, the paper report of His Majesty Momo Domfak will receive Pierre Ishmael Bidumpak, Minister of Culture, to Cameroon. You get to read more. That's the paper for today. We move away from that publication to Camel Press. Camel Press for this morning reports on the innovative products that are highly contested by the Public Works Minister Emmanuel Ngano Njumisi and some American citizens. The paper titles that as Americana who are hitting on the doorpost of the SG and PR. Get to read more on that said publication for this day. We move over to this day newspaper from Nigeria. We are visiting the Nigerian tabloid for this morning. It talks of Tinubu external funding falling, illegal mining, terrorism in Africa, and TMO Nigeria working on details on proposed dollar denominated local bond. And we move on to historic move as NERC transfers regulatory oversight to Enugu Electricity Commission. Taking you now to Daily Independent for this morning. It talks of IGP Egbatong disagrees with Tinubu governors over state policing. Terrorism now greater threat to nationhood, says Tinubu. And in that paper, Rivers Assembly overrides for Barra extends local government chairman's tenure. Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway not a priority according to Peter Obi. Business Day for this morning reports on Naira loses steam as stronger dollar spunk emerging markets. And in that set business newspaper Business Day, the paper reports on bottom page stories Sterling FCMRO stabilizing the biggest jump of FX again. Get to read more on forex trading in Nigeria. Vanguard for this morning report on IGP kicks as ex-president orders back state police. And in that said paper, court verdict orders suspending Ganduje and how gunmen killed Babako Varsity lecturer abducted 2 other in Ogun State in southwest Nigeria. Daily Trust for this day reports on IGP kicks as former President Goodluck Jonathan orders canvass for state police, and terrorism renews social contract with citizens. UN tells Nigeria orders. Get to read details on that paper. Sporting Sun for today says VAR saves Boniface from red cards, and in that said paper, Barcelona joins Arsenal in race for €100 million rated Isaac. And we take you to Alexander Arnold reaches huge Liverpool milestone. Moving over to the Nigerian Football Federation, NFF, who talks on setting for foreign coach for Super Eagles, and Djokovic pulls out of the Madrid Open as Nadal to open youngsters blanch. Get to read details on that said paper. Bellingham matches Ronaldo fits in El Paso victory, and Real Madrid rewards players for El Clasico win. We take you to English Premier League Premier League now. It talks of Chelsea facing injury crisis ahead of Arsenal game. Daily Sun for this morning reports on Tinubu keeps open mind as Jonathan backs state police, and confirms commissioners. You can find more on the on ending political wahala in the southwestern part of Nigeria. Blueprints for this day says Nigeria not yet ready for state police, according to the Inspector General of Police, who declares that on page 25. Africa must address poverty, social injustice to control terrorism. That was the pronouncement from Nigerian President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The Nation newspaper for this morning says Abdulsalami Jonathan orders OK State Police IG differs and fugitive Banas chief Ayatila to be deported from Kenya. Illegal foreign funds mining fueling terrorism, says Tinubu, and government tells Abuja, Ibadan, Benin, Kaduna, and Kanu discourse. Get to read more on that set paper for today. The Nation for this morning says Abdulsalami Jonathan orders OK State Police IG differs. You can find details on that publication for this morning. We cross over to the Guardian. The Guardian for this day says insurance banks compete for scarce fund under new NIMCO. To get to read details on that set paper for today. Federal government resell discourse under bank AFCON in 3 months, and IG counters Tinubu says Nigeria not mature for state police. We come back to Cameroon with the Cameroonian tabloid for this morning. We continue with this paper, Midi d'Afrique. Media d'Afrique talks of the end of incivility in Yaoundé as municipal police have been suspended by the senior divisional officer for the Fundy division, and Elecam on high pressure to make sure massive registration is being recorded all across the National Triangle. And the Yaoundé, the Douala General Hospital, on my hospital newspaper, reports on the excellent service done by medic over there at the Douala General Hospital. And this other one from the Gara Regional Hospital, the paper reports on the urology department that is doing quite well in that set gigantic health facility in the northern region. The point for this morning reports on the Ministry of Agriculture, that of Animal Husbandry, who are in disarray regarding certain financing projects from the implementing partners. Get to read details on that said paper. Higher education, the installation of rectors of the some states universities by the Minister of Higher Education, Professor Jacques Famdongo. We take a bow out of the studio with the last paper on our disposal for this morning. The last publication for today is a Code du Parlement, a report on parliamentary action, REPCO identification and charges mission on thematic diaspora discussion. You can find details on that set paper for today. Honorable Ngo Izzy Roland confess confidence given to her by her constituents as she engages for massive lobbying for her constituents. Get to read more on that set publication for today on the Parliamentary Affairs newspaper of Echo.